Today we go over Star Wars Episode 9, the final film of the Skywalker saga and the sequel trilogy alike. This is Mike Zero here. If you guys are new to the channel, do make sure to subscribe to see future Star Wars content. Now, as you all know, Episode 9 is currently filming over in the UK. After that, they plan on filming over in Italy, Guilin, China, and quite possibly even Jordan. Now, a lot of things are starting to take shape for this movie. We have been going over all the different set leaks, all of the different scene schedules, the concept art descriptions and storyboard descriptions, etc. Now, these past couple of weeks or so, we have been going over the Episode 9 plot itself ever since May of 2018, where the big plot leak dropped, and it left a lot of people talking about it and wondering about where J.J. Abrams is taking us, the Star Wars fans, when it comes to the final Star Wars movie in the Skywalker saga itself. So, looking at Episode 9, just a couple of weeks ago, we went over that plot leak for the movie that actually consisted of the entire first act that a lot of people were talking about, and today we will be going over additionals of that. Like I always say, take this with a grain of salt, but let's get right into it. Now, specifically, this all has to do with Kylo Ren and the Resistance. Kylo Ren has settled in the unknown regions on a planet that has little to no life. Here is the location of the First Order headquarters, which is said to be an underground base. Now, let me stop right there for a second, because that was also covered over in the last plot leak details that we went over a couple of days ago. The Resistance has been receiving information from a contact within the First Order. This contact is not helping the Resistance win the fight, however, making them believe that they are being helped. The mole in the First Order is trusted, as he implies he has been betrayed and put to the wayside. This is believed to be General Hux. Now let me stop right here again. Now, this also connects back to May of 2018, where almost every media outlet out there was talking about that big Episode 9 plot leak, on how one major part of the plot is, of course, General Hux being a mole within the First Order. Moving on. Meanwhile, there is a mission for the Resistance after they have all recruited many creatures, humans, and others around the galaxy as they head into the unknown regions. This mole has given the location of the First Order headquarters. Kylo Ren is able to sense Rey's presence and believes that somebody has been helping the Resistance from within the First Order. This is where Kylo Ren begins to figure out exactly who it is. As the Resistance heads out into the unknown regions, it becomes quite the obstacle. Some Chiss children have offered to help guide them to a star system that is the location of a planet that will benefit Rey. Now, the thing here that interests me is that we do know that they cast a couple of young men and women, young boys and girls as well. And that's honestly connecting, I believe, to the Chiss children. A lot of people are talking about the Chiss children ever since May of 2018. We've heard about them. And then I believe it was in July of 2018, or might have been August, where we actually learned about them casting a group of children for Star Wars Episode 9. So that could very well fall directly in line with that. As far as, the men and women that were cast for this movie, that most likely is, of course, Kerry Russell, Dominic Monaghan, all those different actors and actresses, right? So, moving on. Since Kylo has settled in the unknown regions, he has been unable to communicate with Rey via the Force bond. However, once Rey and crew enter the unknown regions, they start to connect on a different level. Leading into the second act, there is a major space battle that involves the Falcon, a large Resistance ship that can crush through Star Destroyers, E-Wings, X-Wings, going up against TIE Fighters, Star Destroyers, and a new Mega Destroyer that mimics the one from Return of the Jedi. So I wanted to go over the last bit here, alright? This is the thing that really interests me a lot, is the entire concept of the Force bond between both Rey and Kylo. Apparently it has stopped by the time we enter Episode 9 because Kylo is in the unknown regions. Is there something about the unknown regions that interferes with the Force between two Force sensitives, or two Force sensitive individuals that are very much powerful? such as Kylo Ren and Rey. And then as Rey goes into the unknown regions, apparently they start to connect, and that's when he knows that Rey is getting closer. That to me sounds very interesting and plausible for a Star Wars movie. Now, to some of you guys, it may sound very, very boring, and I completely understand that, but like I always say, take this with a grain of salt once again. Looking at episode 9, we got a ways to go until we even get that official trailer, most likely at the very earliest, not until February of next year, during the Super Bowl. But looking at everything here for episode 9, the whole concept of Hux being a mole within the First Order and Kylo Ren trying to figure out exactly who it is, I honestly like that concept. I like the whole concept of cat and mouse elements in a Star Wars movie, very much like how we saw in Revenge of the Sith, where they're trying to figure out exactly who that Sith Lord really is, which ended up being Chancellor Palpatine. So Star Wars Episode 9, it seems as though that J.J. Abrams is really trying to do something great here. Apparently it's going to be the darkest Star Wars film to date. Apparently as well it's going to be the longest Star Wars film out of every Star Wars movie in history. Now that could very well be because there's so many new characters entering into the mix, and it's the final film of this movie, and you really need a good amount of screen time. A good running time, I should say, to offer enough screen time for each and every character in this movie that will actually satisfy a lot of fans out there. Like I say, if you're bringing back Lando Calrissian, don't bring him back for 2 minutes, but we do know that he has a significant role in this movie, which is great. But let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.